Hello everyone. Today we have the lovely Carol Bosco and Marcelo Bosco. Please go ahead and give us your story. They're a parent of a type 1 diabetic child. Go ahead and start us off. When was your child diagnosed?
Okay, so our son, he was diagnosed with at the age of 4. Now he's 5, and so the diagnose, before the diagnose, he was having some symptoms like for a few weeks, and we didn't notice that. So we before like a couple months before the diagnose, he and Carol went to Brazil for 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 the vacations there, to stay like just like 3 weeks there, and then like even before, a little bit before the trip, he was starting to get some symptoms. He was starting to be very thirsty. He was starting to go to the bathroom a lot. He was peeing a lot. He was even peeing on his bed, which was something that did not he was not doing after he was potty trained, and we didn't realize it was connected with the diabetes. Or I mean, we couldn't. It was it was very subtle, like and then like he went to Brazil, and then there like he has like first and before he got out of the airplane, he vomited, and he was we thought that it would be just like motion sickness or stuff, so we didn't pay much attention to that.
And in Brazil too, he started to drink a lot of water, and I didn't realize, because I think it's too hot in Brazil. Maybe he's drinking more water because it's hot.
And one thing that we know, we didn't notice that much, actually. People who didn't see him very often notice that he was losing weight, too much weight, and actually he was getting skinnier and skinnier, and we didn't notice because
he lost super fast.
Yeah, and then and then when he went back to Brazil, they stayed at my parents' home, and I stayed here working. And then he was getting skinnier, and then my parents, they were just giving him more food, and then like
and more carbohydrate, because they think that if they give him more carbohydrate, they're gonna grow and everything. They're gonna gain weight.
And it was one thing that my wife Carol was kind of like not pleased with this situation of having my parents to give him like lots of
carbohydrate,
different, like lots of food that she didn't approve that much, like pasta, like rice and so on, and like what is it called, orange juice and so on, lots of juices. And I told her like, oh, it's just for a period of time. It's not gonna like, food is not gonna kill him. Like I told her, I remember until today, that food was not gonna kill him. Just don't worry about it.
Hey, eating your words.
Yeah, and then when he got back,
I took a picture and I sent to my family, and my family was, he's so skinny, you need to bring him to the hospital. You need to go now to the hospital. And then I sent to my husband. He was working. This day was Monday. And when he saw the pictures, let's go to the hospital now, he said to me. And he came and he went to the urgent care here in the United States.
Yeah, we went to the urgent care, and we didn't even took the line. They said, no, you're gonna go first. Yes. And then the doctor, the nurse came, and she came with a glucometer, and then she said, even before reading the glucometer, said he probably had diabetes.
Yeah.
And then like we didn't realize like how bad it was, the situation back then. And then when she took the reading, the reading was out of the scale of the glucometer.
Yeah, it was high.
It was very high. And then like the doctor came and said like, you have to go to the hospital just right away. We were calling an ambulance to go to the hospital. So And so we went to the hospital. He was admitted to the emergency room, and then like they started the whole process. They had to normalize his blood sugar, like giving like lots of insulin and also like taking care of the fluids and so on. So I spent like one night in the emergency room, one night in the ICU, and I think one night or 2 nights at the regular bedroom.
The pediatrician unit.
Yeah, and then like and then she stayed with him, and I was kind of like going to work, and then back during the night I went there, and then they to take care of them, and then.
And one thing that made me start to research about diabetes was when the nurse educator come, and she said to me that the normal blood sugar for kids is 100 to 200. And I have this paper here at home. And then I remember that when I studied at university, I learned that it's 70 to 100, the normal blood sugar, not 100 to 200. And then this day, I said to my husband that I will start to research. And when I started to research, I came with these articles here from the group, the type 1 group. And then I wrote an email to the author, the first author, Belinda, and then she said to me about the community on Facebook, and she told me about the book that I bought, and I gave to my husband, and we started to study and learn about how to measure, how to control blood sugar.
And when we were at the hospital, we didn't realize how the problems that we would face if we follow the recommendation of the doctor's recommendation. So he was taking like 5 units of Lantus basal insulin, and he was taking like 2 or 2.5 units of Novolog for the meals, and he would have like around
50 grams of carbs per meal, and plus the snack is 15 grams without insulin, and then this is make me crazy because okay, I need to feed my son, not feed the insulin, because when he used this insulin was so potent that his blood sugar dropped so fast that I was so scared that I think I'm not gonna give more food if he's not hungry. So just to cover this amount of insulin, this large dose of insulin that he's received, I need to find something to control his blood sugar. This is not the way that I can live, I said to my husband, because one time it is 300 his blood sugar, and some minutes after giving his insulin it was like 50 or 45, so dangerous. And I said to him, we need to find something to control this. This way is not possible to live.
So basically they told you, okay, take a ton of insulin, eat at least 50 carbs a meal, and if the insulin's too much, just eat more carbs to cover that. Really?
Yes.
That's insane.
And then what they did was, like the doctor, he talked to us like just a little bit during when we were at the hospital. And then like I think we went to the first appointment was with the nurse educator and the nutritionist. The doctor had another appointment see us. So we talked to the nurse educator, and Carol it came with a bunch of like.
And I came with this paper and I gave to her, and
she didn't pay attention to that, and they
tried to convince me that the best thing for my son is put a pump. She said, "Don't worry, in 5 months you're gonna put a pump and everything's gonna be fine."
And also,
had the nurse seen the study before? Did the nurse see the study before?
We don't know. Like she just said, "Oh, I know this," and then like she just put aside. I saw this, but she didn't pay much attention to that.
Can you tell me a little bit about that study real quick, just for the audience sake?
This study is about the treatment with low-carb diet for type 1 diabetic that follow Dr. Bernstein protocol, and they eat the average of 36 grams of carbs per day, and they had A1C with 5.6. That is amazing because the average A1C for kids with type 1 is 8, and the group got 5.6, and this is amazing because can prevent all the complications. The other thing, the number of kids that goes to hospitalization reduced like 2% in 1 year. That is amazing because you know that many kids are going with DKA or hyperglycemia, convulsion, because the holy cluster of blood sugars. And then they got really good results with this protocol. And I said to my husband, I would like to try. But my husband said, you are not doing that. You are not following the doctor's recommendations. Are you sure that you want to reduce the carbs? Because everybody thinks that the kids need carbs to grow, to development and everything, but it's the opposite. Like you can find this information. Kids need normal blood sugars and adequate amount of protein to grow.
Yeah, one thing that few things that Carol said here. Like, I just wanted to point out the study is the population of the study is the type 1 group, isn't it?
Yes.
The type 1 group, and like she said that 2%, only 2% of the kids had like problems with hospitalization, which is pretty good. So another thing that she told us about the recommendation of the doctors, we always kind of like unsure about to deviate from that, because we the way that the doctors, they approach us, the doctor and the team, they say that don't worry, you following this protocol, you're safe. You're not gonna have like the problems in the short run, and you're not gonna have the problems in the long run. The problems in the long run are only for those people who don't take insulin or are not taking care of the diabetes. There are just a few people that had these problems and so on. So don't worry, you're safe if you follow this protocol. So they come up with this. I would say that like they come up with they try to put like the risks of the diabetes on a situation that is very far away from you. Like you're not there. You're not gonna have this problem. So like just follow your life the way you have followed. Like just live your life. Don't have like this. You don't need to have the dietary restriction of any sort. So just use the insulin and that's it. And there's this false like feeling or expectation that you're kind of like safe, and actually when you search a little bit more, actually there are some studies, there are some doctors, other professionals and people that have diabetes that actually have like a very different opinion, and your doctors kind of like doesn't even totally disregard that type of opinion. They say like, no, don't worry, that's not a problem. And then like you kind of like thinking like, who am I going to believe on? And like, is that like the people, the other like this fringe like type of movements that's not like that much, it's not recognized by the medical establishment, or are we going to believe in the doctor? And so like we kind of like were in that way, and then we thought like, okay, like we went to the visit the doctor, and the doctor said that you can eat whatever you want, like he can eat whatever he wants. He can even have Skittles. Just need to calculate the insulin, and you can use the Humalog. Humalog is safe. It's not a problem. And we use it, and we realized it was very, very dangerous. Like especially with the dosage that he was taking, like two units, like 1 or 2 units or something, so on. And so like we were after the visit, we realized 2 things. Like, okay, we're not coming back to that doctor. And second, we are going to try this Dr. Bernstein regime. And actually, I think we're a few days earlier, we're kind of trying to do that. And then like we didn't have like the full support of the doctor because of the insulin, different types of insulin and so on. And then we realized, okay, let's go for this.
Let me put in my video, my side now, because when you start a low carb diet, is the exactly moment you can see that your blood sugar is not going to spike. You know, now you have this CGM, and you can see what the curve, what happens. Is the same time that you reduce your carbs, you cut your carbs, your blood sugar normalizes. And when I saw that, I said to my husband, I'm not going to follow. The doctor can say whatever they want. I can see, I have this in front of me. I can see this, his CGM, I can see his Dexcom, the numbers, and it's really, really good. And I don't need that any doctor's recommendation that say that my sons need to eat a lot of carbs, because I can see here, and if you stop to eat carbs, you're going to have good blood sugars, good control. And the second thing that changed my mind was, if you have a problem that your body not producing insulin, is the same. If you think like thyroid problems, you need to give you hormones. When you have a hypothyroidism, you need to put more hormones. When you have a problem with insulin hormone, you need to put more insulin hormone. You just think the same way. Is you don't need to put more sugar if you cannot process sugar. You know, if you have allergy for nuts, you just cut the nuts from your diet. You have dairy allergy, you just cut the milk and everything with milk. It's obvious. It's in front of you, you know. And then I said to my husband, I'm not gonna cut everything. I'm gonna just substitute and make low carb food. For example, rice. He can have rice, but cauliflower rice. I just switch the foods the way that it was prepared, the ingredients for low carb ingredients, and he's not how can I say? He's still eating everything, but low carb. You know, he has a normal life. It's not deprived. I'm not restricting his diet. No, we have a lot of options, and delicious options, I'm gonna say.
So let's backtrack a little bit though, and you're right about that, because I mean the idea that you're deprived by not eating carbohydrate foods is ridiculous on its face. And I mean, there's always alternatives, and I never even eat the alternatives, and I never feel deprived. But anyways, let's backtrack a little bit. So at first they gave you the recommendations, and they seemed off, but you, Marcelo, you know, you reasonably, rightly so, wanted to go with the doctor, because you want to trust the doctor, right? Did you guys try to follow that for a little bit, and that didn't work out, and then you switched? Can you tell me about that a little bit?
We were actually afraid of the insulin, I think, because like I think when just a few days, like when we got out of the doctor's office, actually the hospital, when we were discharged, he ate a croissant, and then like his glucose went to like 300s, and then like spiked to 300s, and then like he took the insulin shot, and then it went down very fast, and we were kind of afraid of this movement. And then we were I don't actually remember like how it was in the beginning, but I think we were kind of like, we didn't know exactly what to do. She was like very, very, very stressed out because she was the one who was cooking all the meals and doing most of the insulin shots and so on. So
No, and I remember when I arrived at home, I said to my husband, I'm gonna put all the things that we have at home that contain sugar.
yeah,
And I threw, and I put in the trash all the foods.
we threw away like most of the food, the sugar and everything. Yeah, I remember like the ice cream. Like I remember I ate the the last cup of ice cream before we threw most of the everything away.
That's great.
But it's still like we didn't know like which food was good for
Yes,
him
because
yet.
I think, for example, a fruit is super healthy.
Yeah,
If you switch for whole grains, if you're gonna now not gonna eat white bread, let's eat whole grain bread. It's gonna be super healthy. You know.
And there were some like some things that we first, like in the beginning, we went to the to the supermarket, I guess, like maybe 5 times in 2 weeks, or even less than that. Like we spent like a ton of money in the first month in the supermarket. It was a ton of money, and because we didn't know what to buy, we didn't know what he would
No,
like, and then like
we were doing everything wrong. You don't go to the products, the package. Go to the natural foods, the part of the supermarket when you can find vegetables and salads and meat and everything. Don't spend your money by package products. It's the wrong way that you are doing, because they put a lot of sugar that with different names that we learn how to read after the ingredients and see what is sugar, because they changed the name and put it for us that is diet, but it contains many of things that's going to spike his blood sugar too.
and then like there were some like even Dr. Bernstein has some like recommendations of at least like one cracker. Like he recommended one specific cracker that we thought it was like
There was
okay,
a cracker.
and then we realized it wasn't that okay. But then like we tried to find some other solution for that, replacement for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, I think it took maybe a couple months to actually get used to this the diet. And I remember like in the beginning we were like pretty like the diet was actually affecting like us, like because like you kind of like you're still like addicted to sugar, and you kind of you're a bit too cranky because you're not taking your sugar dosage, your daily sugar dosage, and then like you're kind of like you're not feeling well like for a few days.
And go outside. It's super difficult the first.
Yeah, and going to eat outside was difficult because everything, especially here in the US, everything has sugar. Even like the barbecue sauce is a ton of sugar, and then like the drinks are a ton of sugar. Dressings, like everything's like lots of sugar, and then like you don't even think about that when you don't have this type of problem. But then when you have to take care of yourself, then you realize, okay, wait, is it like, does it have sugar? How many carbs does it have this thing? And then you start to make the calculations, like, and then you say, oh, like if I eat like a slice of pizza, like I'm gonna surpass like the limit that I imposed to myself for this day. So I don't want to eat just one slice of pizza, so I'm gonna go for something else. So it's kind of, and then you start to, when you have the amounts of sugar and carbs in your head, as you get used to that, to do these calculations, then you start to do like some smart decisions. You're not, for example, I'd rather like eat some nuts or to eat like a 98% chocolate than like eat like a bagel or like how can I say, a donut. Like it's not worth it. Like it's
not worth it, especially for the diabetics. And I wanted to bring this back over to your son. And what's his name again?
Lucas.
Lucas. Okay, Lucas. So he got the diagnosis. He wasn't doing well on the doctor's recommendations, and pretty quickly you wisened up and switched him to the real Bernstein low-carb approach.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about how he was doing before versus after, like how he was feeling, how his blood sugar was, how he was acting? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. Like he was in the beginning, like he before the diagnosis, he had some behavior changes, like especially during school because we were not like taking care of him, so he would be more irritable. Yeah, at school, like he would be bored and so on, and so we received lots of complaints from him from schools.
Yeah.
And then like and we didn't know, like we thought like maybe he's not adapting too well, he's like missing us. I don't know.
Because he moved from Brazil and you think that it's different language and many things.
He moved to another city here, and so like he switched schools, like he attended like 3 or 4 different schools, and so like we maybe it was that the change and so on, so we didn't know. So and then like he had a speech delay, and we thought this was because he was just starting to speak. He came here. He was speaking Portuguese, and then he came here, switched to English, and then he kind of like stopped speaking. And then like we thought, okay, like what is going on? So he started doing like speech therapy, and then he started doing like some occupational therapy. Some occupational. It was like more like he had a special teacher that would come to our home to teach him like how to behave well, behavioral like tricks and so on, and so like he wasn't like a easy kid since the beginning, and then like he was as we said, he was losing weight. He was never like a heavy kid, so like, and then like, he just before the diagnosis he lost lots of weight, and he had like a year, like he had lots of ear infections because he had like fluid in his ears, and so we put tubes in both of his ears, and then he started getting like ear infections, and then when the tube came off, then the ear infections stopped. But it's still like we had lots of like small like problems with issues with him, and we didn't even know like what were the causes of that. And
then after you saw the big improvement.
And after the diagnosis, and after we normalized his blood sugar, we realized first like some of the things are linked, some might not be linked, but like he improved his behavior. He's like way better now. He's speaking a lot. Actually,
in 6 months, it's super. This is good to tell you, because in 6 months he was dismissed from his speech therapist. In 6 months after the diagnosis, we control his blood sugar. He starts to speak a lot. His scores will improve, and today he didn't need any special servicing, nothing. He's like a normal kid. If you see him, you're never gonna think about it that he has diabetes.
And
that's amazing.
He was also he didn't have like the ear infection anymore. He's getting sick way less often than before. Actually, I don't even remember the last time he got sick, like during the past year. And what else?
And then his blood sugar improved a lot, because before we was wake up all the night, to check his blood sugar, and he couldn't sleep. And I was lucky because I live 1 block from his school, and I was all the time looking my cell phone to see his data, to see if his blood sugar is going down, is going up, and I couldn't work. I was so afraid. And now his blood sugar is super stable. I can work and stay calm. and live my life, and I don't need to think about diabetes all the time, because his blood sugar is very controlled, it's normal, it's, how can I say, it's most of the time in the range. They reduce the fluctuations.
And one thing, like we in the beginning, like he when he was diagnosed, he had like A1C of 10.9, and so after 3 months, like during this, most of the time we didn't have the GCM, but the CGM. The CGM.
Sorry.
We didn't have the CGM, so we got the CGM just like a few days before the new doctor's the appointment with the new doctor.
Yeah.
And we improved the A1C to 4.8. And
wow.
In 3 months. And doing like the Dr. Bernstein protocol.
And the last one was 4.6. The last one.
And using the diluted like R insulin R, and that was like another challenge for us to figure out how we can which insulin how we could get the insulin. Like we didn't know, like we don't know many people here, we don't have family here, and then like we thought like, how can we get this insulin? And then like she found out that it was it was sold in the Walmart for like $25. And I'm like, okay, let's go.
And this is another thing that I want to say, because when I saw the book, insulin R, the regular, the Noblin R that he's using now, is good to cover protein. And I said to my husband, how can I get this? And then I talked with another mother from the community, the type 1 grit, and she said to me, you can buy at the Walmart. You know, and I said, okay, let's go, let's buy this. But I was afraid to dilute the insulin, because I know that I'm a nurse and that I can do that. But I was so afraid, because I said to my husband, how can I dilute this? I don't know. And then because I use the Excel and I make like a log with all his numbers, and I did a trial. It's a try and error. And then we tried the first time, and it was, how can I say this? It was not potent. It was less.
2 weeks.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks. And then I increased a little bit, and then I got the correct dose for the correct amount of carbohydrate that he's eating now, and
that's how you do it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's a good thing that our insulin is probably one of the most accessible insulins you can get in the U.S. You don't need to, in most states, you don't even need to ask permission from a doctor or pharmacist or anything. You just go there and get it. It's amazing. And it's surprised. I always find it so funny that doctors never, help us figure this stuff out, like diluting and all that. It's very unfortunate. But on the topic of insulin, you mentioned before he was taking like 5 units of basal, 2 units for every meal. How much insulin are you giving him now?
He's taking 1 unit of basal, and he was actually like, when he's taking more actually, because like we had to bring it down to half a unit, just like 3 months after the diagnosis. I guess within 3 months of the diagnosis, he had to bring it down to half a unit of basal, and then like he was taking like 0.25 units of before each meal. So of a regular insulin R, that was diluted, so it could fit in a half unit syringe. Mm-hmm. And now he's taking like 1 unit of basal and 1 unit of diluted 1-to-1 of R. So it's
like half a unit.
Half a unit. Yeah. So it takes like 2.5 units of insulin each day. Sometimes like give or take, like sometimes he will take more because he wants like a heavier snack or something. But like it's like on average like 2.5 units.
Yeah, I think that the important what is important diluting, if the people asking me, is because when you have low insulin, low carb, the chance that you make a mistake is lower too. It's they allow out the small numbers that you can find in the Dr. Bernstein book. You're not gonna make a mistake. When you have low insulin inside your body, for example, most of parents are super afraid that the kids go to swim. And my son can go to swim because I know that he has low doses of insulin inside his body. It's not gonna decrease like crazy. This is make this so different for us.
Yeah, it's amazing the difference it can make, and that's really small numbers, by the way. I'm curious, is Lucas still honeymooning at all, or is he past at this point?
I think that he's
honeymooning.
yeah, he can prolong his.
Yeah, sometimes we see that his pancreas like works a little bit more, like reducing some stuff, and then like we have to let's give him something more to eat, and then like it's good that has some like insulin left, and then it's good that we put him in he's following the protocol.
I'm so happy that I couldn't research and found all this knowledge quickly. This is the way that it needs to happen. The doctor needs to tell when you are diagnosed, you need to receive the correct information to preserve your beta cells.
Yeah.
And to put
Absolutely.
it super fast, and then you can preserve the cells, and it can make it easy to control.
And one thing that it's good for us is that like since we use the insulin R, it's the curves are smooth. Like if you were during the night, it's mostly flat. Sometimes he has some there's a peak on the lantus on the basal insulin. So sometimes he wakes up hungry, and then that's okay. It's not like it's nothing. How can I say? It's not an issue. It's just like sometimes it gets a little bit low, but that's okay. There's nothing to worry about. Most of the time, it's very flat during the nights, and then like during the meals, like their curves are like very very smooth, and they usually are very are under like 120 so it's like very it's very easy to control, and then like because he uses the R, so he can eat some snack during school time, and he doesn't take insulin. And so we try to make it for him to not to take too much shots of insulin, because we don't want to have very steep declines in his blood sugar, even with the CGM. We don't want to experience that. We want to, if it's gonna drift towards like a lower number, at least it gives us time to it's drifting. Let's give him some sugar. Let's give him some snacks.
Recorrect with glucose tablets.
Yeah.
That it can give it the correct numbers, like in 1 gram, to increase it. Out of amount of his blood sugar, and precise. You can give it the accurate correction, not just follow the guidelines and give a cup of juice, and then you're going to spike his blood sugar so high that I need to give him more insulin, and it's never going to control this with blood sugar.
Yeah.
I think one important tool, and I'll probably make a video about this, is just the idea of taking just enough sugar to get where you need to be, and not like just the cookie cutter 15 grams every single time. I think that's really important. And it's a shame that we're often told the opposite. But anyways, I wanted to get to what you eat. You're talking about snacks and stuff like that. Can you tell us a little bit about what your son eats today, what he snacks on, how you keep it all low carb?
Morning, he's eating 2 eggs, coconut wrap, and low carb bread. And for the lunch, is every day is a protein and vegetables. And the important thing is that all the family are following the same diet. We're eating the same thing. And the other thing that helped Lucas is because he chose together with us what he wants to eat. We gave to him the options, and he said, okay, I want to eat these vegetables and this kind of food. And he always ate what we put in his plate. He never say, I don't want to eat, because I know that some parents are having problems because my son is not gonna eat this. Sometimes he's a little bit picky. With Lucas, the opposite happened. When we put him in a low carb, he started eating his insulin. He's eating all his food, all the what you put it for him.
Yeah, and one thing is that we thought it would be difficult for him to take the sugar, take out the sugar, because like he didn't eat too much sugar compared to other kids, but still like he would eat like some like candies and stuff. But now like he doesn't even care about like candies. He take the like those the eggs, the little eggs with the small the little toys inside, and like the chocolate. He just give to us the chocolate side and take the toys. He doesn't care for this type of like.
He's not hungry all the time, because the protein making him help with the society. He's not hungry all the time, and he's eating 3 meals. And because inside in the school, at the school they have a snack time. I can send for him, for example, some blueberries, raspberries, sometimes, and a slice of cheese, something like that, just for him participate and stay together with the other kids, not feel out of this group, and just look at the people eating. And he's super happy with this diet. He said one day, it's so funny, he said, "You're the best chef, Mom. You're cooking so good." Because he loves food.
Yeah, and I think that he at this age he sees other kids like eating other stuff, and then he knows that he doesn't eat that, like the pizza. I don't think he even likes pizza anymore. He see that we don't eat what the other people eat, and when we go to a place to eat hamburgers, we take the bun out of the hamburger, and then we throw it away, and we don't care. We simply that's not for us to eat, and then he's okay with that. He doesn't say, "Oh, I want to eat the bun or the bread. Or I want to eat this." So he's very cognizant.
I think we have the power to adapt. He's adapted this new life. He knows that he is he. How can I say? Go back to the old diet, the past diet that the other things that we were eating. He knows that he can go to the hospital and have all the complications. We explain to him. We sit with him and we talk, and you explain, and you said, "This is the way that is healthy for us. We want that you will live long and healthy." And we know that it's not good for him. It's not good for me too. It's not good for my husband. And we feel that we are more healthy today after change the diet.
And you all changed to a low carb approach
to help him to not feel different. We don't need bread. We don't need it. We need density food. We need nutritional food that's gonna give us vitamins, nutrients that your body needs. Yeah. We don't need bread.
That's great. And so you're telling me, just to sum that up, you're telling me, this is going to sound crazy to maybe some of you watching, but you're telling me you explained everything to Lucas. You explained what will happen if he doesn't take care of it. You gave him options. You gave him amazing low carb food, and you told him exactly everything he needs to know about it. And now he doesn't even crave those carbs anymore. He doesn't even want those carbs anymore. You have a child. This is going to baffle some people now. You have a child who doesn't want candy. Is that right? That's amazing.
He doesn't
want. He goes. He passed. I think the only thing that he likes is like chocolate, and we give him like 70%, 80%. Like we give him some amount of chocolate, but that's about it. We give him like some ice cream, very low carb ice cream, like some that will give him like 5 grams of carbs, and no added sugar and so on. So it's just like, and he likes it. And then he got used to not eating so much sweet food. And then like he drinks like those naturally flavored sparkling water, and he loves it. And then he doesn't like he doesn't drink juice, no juice at home. So he doesn't ask for juice. He's just like he got used to that. And then and it's simply like, and he used to be, when before the diagnosis, he used to ask for candies. We would buy candies for him. We would buy the ice cream. We would buy like those smoothies, like the slushes, and like everything. And then, but he would eat like way less than I would think, like maybe the average kid. But I mean, still, like, he would eat a lot. I mean, at least in my opinion. But and we too, like we like we used to like sweets as well. But then after that, like we no sweets at home. Like it's just what he can eat. And that's like that's one way you can convince your kid, because you're kind of like giving an example to him that first, you're not giving the option to him to eat those high carb sugary food, and second, you're given the example that you're not eating that, and you're with him or her, and that's okay, and you're not gonna die, or your I mean, like, your life is not gonna end because you're not eating your sweets or the carbs that you used to eat. And then like, and another thing that we have to do is that, like, once you're not eating that much carb and that much sugar, you stop craving so much for food. You stop eating all the day long, and you stop you kind of like, you eat like once in a while, but you stop like being craving for the next meal, for the next thing for you to eat, and be hungry all the time, and eating like overeating during meals. And then like, you kind of like the food stop being like the central
of your life,
the focus point of your life, of your social relationships and so on.
And then we feed him before he goes to the party, the kids' party, the birthday party, and he goes to the party to play, to enjoy this party, not to eat in this party.
He went trick-or-treating like one day. We didn't do last year, but like the first year he went trick-or-treating, and then he gave to us the candies.
All the candies, and then
he got a toy.
And he got a toy. We switched. You said, you're gonna get all the candies that you want, then you're gonna give to us, and you're gonna give you a toy. And
we threw it away. And then like, we don't, I mean, like, we don't care anymore about this the sweets and everything. Like, it's just like, we're not like, people might think, oh, you're just wasting food, like when you throw away sweets or like or the bread. It's like, for me, this is junk for us. Like, it's just like, we pay more not to eat this type of food, because we know that's not gonna be healthy for us and for him, so that we're not pity like of throwing this in the trash. So it's not gonna enter our homes, not gonna enter our lives, so we just throw it in the trash, and that's it. And then
I always argue when people say that. I mean, oh, you're throwing away food? I go, it's not food. Not to me. It's trash.
Is that just trash that they put inside the package and put your name and make it this, like, so cheaper that the people think, oh, okay, I'm gonna eat many. She's trash.
Yeah.
I love how you are doing all this very creative. You have all these creative ways of keeping your son motivated on low carb, with the trading the treats for the toys. That's a really good one. I also like that you said you're even though they're all low carb, you still give Lucas options, so he still gets a choice. And I mean, for anyone watching, that's a really good idea because even giving them that sort of illusion of choice is critical for them to be, happy about it. Because if they feel they're stuck in a corner, they're probably going to lash out. So that's really great that you're doing that. And if only people understood that it can really be that simple and easy if only you do it right, if only you start on the right foot like you guys have. That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you. Mentioned a group before, and you brought it with me before, and I wanted to bring it up here. Can you tell us a little bit more of this group we're talking about? It wasn't Type 1 Grit. It was another group of parents you were talking about, right?
Yes. I opened a group after had a good experience at home, and I talked with my husband that I would like to show the world this can happen or can help other kids with type 1 diabetes. And I said many families I pass the situations that the doctor said to eat a lot of carbs and cannot control the blood sugars. And I said, I cannot keep this knowledge with me. I am a nurse. I need to pass this for the other families. And I decided to open a group on WhatsApp and help and support other mothers. And I wrote Lucas' article too, because I'm working with a research now, and will be published in a British Journal of Nursing.
The study, Lucas study.
So,
Lucas study.
Let me get that straight. You're making a study article, like an actual scientific publication about Lucas?
Yeah.
Yes, because the same way that I found this article here, I want that the other mothers can find Lucas' article and can follow and can look at this like another options and decided about it, what they want to follow. If they want to follow.
And then like she started a group because also like she wanted to spread the word about with the article and with like those more like academic publication and so on. But still like she realized she was not like helping the people who need the most, like the help, which are the parents and especially the mothers. And so she started like communicating with them through social media, like through Instagram and Facebook. And then like she realized that first of all, like she actually like in Brazil, like people are engaging more about this topic, especially because they don't have the knowledge there. Like the book was not translated to Portuguese yet.
This is a Portuguese group?
Yeah, it's a Portuguese group.
Because we have many cities in Brazil that you cannot find a good endocrinologist or a nutritionist, and they don't have the support. And then I said, I need to help these people in Brazil. I need to help these mothers to figure out, to find the best way to control, to keep the kids' health.
And then like she realized, okay, like many of the mothers will go to her and ask stuff, and then she realized, okay, I'll just create a group. And then she suddenly created a group, like put like I don't know, 30 something mothers in there, and then like group grew, and now it's like more than 100 or something.
I don't know.
Like we don't even know. Like it's just like there are lots of like every day she's like adding someone new, and then like and then she started to see the results, because like at the beginning, like people would not even know about low carb options or the diet and Dr. Bernstein protocol, and then they thought that what they were doing was healthy for people with diabetes. And then when she started to post stuff and comment about things, and then like showing like how the things that we what are the impact of things.
It's difficult for them because they don't have the CGM. They cannot. They get things from the government. Sometimes the insulin, because it's so expensive.
They don't realize, like there are some people that wouldn't even realize that they had spikes after the launch, because they wouldn't check. They didn't check. They checked just like before the meals, and it was okay. And so like and then like when she raised this awareness of, among those people, and then like they started to follow some of the tips, and then they start to see the results. They started to post their like readings. Like before, you would see like 300, 350, like 250, and so on. Like, I don't know, like all over the place. And then like after like a few weeks, they would come down to 120, 95, 80 something, and then like, and the curves were way less like volatile than like the that they were before, and many of the mothers would like thank Carol and the other mothers because of all the help. And that was one thing that she didn't have when we were in the beginning, because she was always like telling me that it was too difficult for her to like do just like with me taking giving support. So, and now she is actually supporting like a group of mothers.
And the other thing that I think that is important, the support network, is because 20 minutes is not enough to learn the appointment with the doctors, everything that you need to learn, you know. And when you have this group, you can how can I say, you can put things that you learn from your experience, because you need to know your son, his body, because it's an individualized treatment. How can I say this? You cannot put everything like in a paper and say, do this, and your blood sugar is going to be good. No, you need to know yourself. You need to eat at the time, the peak of the insulin. You need to give insulin before. Many tricks that you need to learn, and these kind of things, usually the doctor is not going to teach you.
Yeah, that's amazing though. So basically, you started this group, you helped give them low carb advice and support, and they're coming out a lot better than before, just from your help, huh?
Yes.
That's amazing. Glad to see. That's the kind of thing. Support is so important, especially when you're doing something like this that doesn't have a lot of professional support. It is so important to find people that are doing it and doing it right. And so, those people are blessed to be in that group and to be able to get your help. That is amazing. Yeah. And it's also amazing that you're doing a case. Was it like a case study for Lucas?
Yes.
Is it going to get published soon?
Yes.
It's been already accepted. We're just waiting for the final draft of the publication, and then will be published.
It's amazing. Yeah. The more science, the better, guys. The more we can show people, the more papers we can cite. That's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have plans to write more articles. I talked with my advisor that I have many ideas, and I want to publish about the group and the results, how fast they control the blood sugars in the group with the sport and everything.
That's great. And hopefully as time goes on, we'll be able to get more and more. The information's out there, but it's not out there in a professional landscape. So the more we can get out there into the journals, into the sort of view, into the zeitgeist, into the bubble of these experts, the more change we'll see, hopefully. It's right. You said it was about a year ago your son was diagnosed?
Yes.
A year ago, they're laughing at you for trying low carb. Hopefully in a few decades, however long it takes, they'll be making the number approach. We'll see.
Yes.
We can only hope. So, we're about approaching an hour now, so I'd say it's getting close to time to bring this interview to a close. So I'll ask one final thought, my favorite final question to ask. If there is anything you could tell anybody watching this right now, be it parent, be it diabetic, what is one thing you like to tell them that you learned from your journey here?
Me? Okay, so I think the one thing that he should learn is that they have to, for the parents with the kids, they have to think not only on themselves, but and on the kids. And because their kids haven't had didn't have yet the opportunity to make choices, so they have to make the responsible choices for their kids, and in a way that their kids will not say to their parents, you could have helped me, but you didn't, because you thought it was too difficult, or because you were afraid. So I think this, in that sense, you have to look at all the options that you have, balance all the risk and benefits of everything that you put an eye on, and see and choose the best one. And in our opinion, the best one is the low carb diet. And Carol is the one that made all the research and is doing all the research, and she looked a lot into many places, and then we decided that was the best approach. It might not be the best approach for other parents, but they have to bear in mind that that's on their they're the responsibility of their choices now. Yeah. So that's like the biggest thing that they have to think of. And for the people who have diabetes and can make their own choices, I think what I would say that you don't need to give up of your life or give up of your future because of the disease. You actually, if you take control of this disease, you actually can be healthier than most regular people, just by managing your disease the right way. And when we think about the right way is to eat responsibly, especially with low carb, and to use insulin in a responsible way. And so if you do that, you're going to be healthier, and you can even have a longer life than the normal people or healthy people. So I think that's the thing. And we don't have diabetes. I don't have diabetes. Carol doesn't have diabetes, but we
are gonna have diabetes because you were following Dr.
Vincent the results on us. Yeah. And when you see that, like, if you think about the risk that the people with diabetes are exposed to just by eating whatever they want, as other people do, like, if they could see the improvements, they would definitely go for the low carb diet, because it's
the important is give you a chance, try.
Yeah.
If you see that after a period that I cannot control, I cannot stay in this diet, it's so hard for me, I think that I'm not having social life, and then okay, but you try it.
Yeah, it's like, if you do responsibly, if you do with care, with taking care of your insulin regime and so on, it's safe. So you can do it, and it's safe, and it's something that is sustainable in the longer term. So we're doing for almost a year right now, and we don't think
we're not going to stop.
We're not going to stop. Yeah. Even if, I'm not going to eat more carbs because I know what bad they do to your body. And my son's hopefully he's not going to eat that, because he will know that it's better.
And the other thing that is, anytime that it doesn't matter if you have 10 years, if you diabetes, if you have how many years you have, doesn't matter. Anytime that you can decide and switch and start with low carb diet.
And the benefits come fast well, in just a few weeks, you're going to see the benefits. And it's not only the people with diabetes who see the benefits, also healthy people. I mean, healthy people who see the most benefits, actually. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great way to finish it off, and I agree with 100% all of that. Well, we'll end it there. Thank you two for your time today. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate hearing Lucas's story, which is amazing, by the way, that he's able to stick to it so well. He's able to self-manage his cravings and all of that without tons of effort for you guys. Amazing job, and I think you guys served as a great example for parents everywhere. But with that, we'll end it. Thank you again for your time. This is how Marcelo and Carlos Bosco tamed Lucas's type 1